Derby County manager John Eustace has finally conducted his press conference ahead of Derby County's fixture up against Watford at Pride Park Stadium this weekend. There's a lot of negative news, but also a lot of positives heading into such a huge fixture. He was keen to improve on the attitude, and he made sure that all the players knew exactly what they needed to do. And he says that during the break, the attitude has been great. They've worked hard, but all the players have been able to have a few days off for rest and recovery, and they've all gone about their business tremendously well. Now, obviously, we're going to cover everything else that was discussed, including the negative injury news for Owen Beck, including an update on David Ozo. Now, obviously, if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. This is the Derby Digest. Let's get into it. Now, John Eustace was asked a range of different questions, not just about the international break, but also about the start of the season. And John Eustace was asked about the position that Derby County have got themselves into over the course of the last 5 games. And John Eustace says that we've got ourselves into a good position over the course of the whole season. And that comes from working our socks off, but it's also key not to miss out on the work that is still left to go. He says that as the days go on, the group is getting stronger and stronger, and those relationships between the players, both on the pitch and off the pitch, are certainly building as well. The most important thing for Derby County is focusing on that process that they're instilling right now, and eventually the success will come. Now, obviously, in terms of relationships building, the group getting stronger, I think it's very important to note that over the course of maybe the last 5 games, there's maybe been 1, maybe 2 changes between the games, and that means that we've got a core of 8 or 9 players on the pitch that are the same every week. It's easier for those relationships to build, and in my opinion, as much as myself and many other people believe that someone of the ilk of Ben Diaz doesn't necessarily deserve to be starting, it shows why John Eustace is doing it. They're building those relationships on the pitch. Eventually, Rhian Brewster or Corey Blackett-Taylor will get their opportunity to come into a team that already has those formed relationships, and it makes it easier for those. Now, obviously, John Eustace was always key. He was always keen on pointing out that as much as the success is coming right now, with 5 wins on the bounce, highs and lows will come across the course of the next, 31 games that are left, maybe 34 should we get to the playoffs and to the playoff final. And obviously over the course of the next few weeks, it's one of the busiest periods you ever see in football, especially over here in English football. I think it goes something along the lines of 13 or 14 games in 8 or 9 weeks, which is absolutely massive. It's ridiculous. And then I think you've got the FA Cup break, which sort of splits that up. But it's one of those for me where, as much as we've got this busy period coming up, that's where we've got the opportunity to show our improvement in strength and depth. It's around this time last season where Derby County really started to fall off. I think it was early December when Derby County went to Ellen Road, got beat 2-0, never laid a glove on Leeds United, and ultimately that was the beginning of the end for Paul Warne. And obviously for John Eustace, he's got a much better squad now. Can he handle this period a lot better than he did? Now, he was keen to heap praise on those international players, the likes of Callum Elder, Jakub Zetterstrom, Brereton Diaz, and also Ibu Adams, who are obviously part of a strong group, and that is what is shown by having those internationals. It's that this group is very, very strong. Elder getting minutes for Australia for the first time since I believe he said 2022. Might have said 2023, but whatever, it's his first minutes for Australia in God knows how long. Zetterstrom got his first competitive start for Sweden. Diaz got more minutes. I believe he scored a goal as well for Chile. Ibu Adams, I think he played 90 in both games. One of the key players for that Gambia side. Now, he was asked questions in regards to some of the players who have got their eye on the World Cup in the summer, and as much as John Eustace was open to admitting that some of the players will be looking at that, he said that the main focus has to be performing for the club. In order to get selected for your national team, you have to be performing for your club, and that is what we're hoping will happen. And I think over the course of the next 3 or 4 months, we're either going to see players like the likes of Patrick Agyemang, like the likes of Max Johnston, we're either going to see them falter because of the situation of them having a World Cup coming up, or we're going to see them hit heights that we maybe didn't expect them to hit this early on in their time at Derby County. And obviously that comes with lots of hard work. It comes with the highs and lows of being at the football club, but that is what brings everybody together, and that is what will help these players get those opportunities, because a World Cup, it's not just about being the best player, it's about having the right attitudes in the squad. Max Johnston might go to the World Cup, but he might not be the first option at right back, at right wing back for Scotland. And you look at Patrick Agyemang, may go to the World Cup, but he might not be the first option in that forward line. And that's what we're sort of going to have to keep an eye on for these players, because we've got to make sure they're the right characters for the national team to go and get those opportunities. Now, obviously, as mentioned, there's been lots of highs and lows already this season, and the players have stuck together through all of it, as per John Eustace, and that is what is giving us the rewards right now. Now, John Eustace was happy to discuss the squad. He says that everyone's okay, everyone's sort of back in working order, especially those that have been on international duty. And he was then asked to comment on the Owen Beck situation, where he says he feels really bad and feels sorry for Owen Beck. He's a good player, but he's been incredibly unfortunate. And obviously, he has now returned to Liverpool, and we probably won't see him in a Derby County shirt at any point. I know he obviously made that appearance for the under-21s, doesn't really count. He's had to undergo surgery. He'll be out for the next 3 to 4 months. I have done a full injury video earlier on today, so make sure you do go ahead and check that out. David Ozo is expected back sooner than first anticipated. I know I spoke about it in a video about his injury and things like that, about the potential of it being sort of like a mental block sort of thing as to why he couldn't carry on in the game, or at least try and carry on. And that was probably the right decision by David Ozo, don't get me wrong. I spoke about it earlier on as well in my video earlier today. But it's one of those situations where, because of his injury history, you feel a pull, you feel something that just doesn't feel right, and ultimately it completely drew him out of the game. Like, even if he could have carried on, even if he is able to walk, run, etc., which he might be able to do, obviously I don't know, it's one of those situations where I believe the mental side of picking up another injury is what pulled David Ozo out of the game, not necessarily the injury. Now, he was ruled out for 4 to 5 weeks at the start of the international break. We're now at the end of the international break, which means it's more like 3 to 4 weeks. So I'd expect him back towards the end of December, hopefully just in time for that Boxing Day sort of run, where I think we've got like five games in like 10 days or something like that, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, Lewis Travis is not recovering as well as expected. He's had to go for another scan. He is still improving and getting better, but ultimately he's not where they sort of expected him to be at this point, which is fair enough. It happens, injuries happen, and we need him to be back right. We don't want him back half-arsed. We don't want him back with the potential of another injury 2 weeks down the line. So we need to make sure we do everything correct. Max Johnston, he is due back. He is back on the grass. And he's due back with the squad over the course of the next couple of weeks. But if I'm completely honest, I wouldn't rush him. In my personal opinion, Joe Ward's been performing excellent. Yes, we need to make sure we have players available to be able to step in. Obviously, there's Ryan Niambi, Caden Jackson, who can play in that right wing back role. There's probably some other players in the squad as well who could potentially step in, and you might even have to go and call upon an Isaac Gordon, who played pretty much all of pre-season. So that may have to happen, but Max Johnston is expected back. Now, in terms of Liam Thompson, he's fit, he's working hard, he's just waiting for his shot. He is training really, really well, according to John Eustace, and is a top performer that we've developed for our academy, and we've got to give him the praise he deserves. Now, he says that it's brilliant to have Patrick Agyemang with the squad over the course of the last couple of weeks. He thinks it will really aid his development, and obviously it will help him with that continuation of that transition. He thinks he's doing really well, and he's starting to build that sort of momentum in English football. Now, John Eustace was keen to point out that the only way to continue with the momentum we've already built is to continue working hard, and we've got to be able to build and continue to build that momentum well, even when injuries and suspensions start to come at Derby County, because winning one game in this league is hard, but it's important that we keep working hard in order to keep winning games. We've won 5 in a row, but that doesn't mean the league's over. It doesn't mean we've won the league. It doesn't mean we've got promotion, and that is the important thing. Now, he said that Watford are a great team. They've got a great manager with a great CV who's worked at some top clubs. They've turned their form around over the course of recent weeks, and they'll certainly be a threat. He says every team in this division is coached well, but all Eustace actually cares about is what we do as Derby County Football Club. The aim is to go there, be competitive, and that is sort of where we go from there. Now, he is looking forward to the Fans Forum, which will have happened as of time of recording. I believe it's happening tonight. as I'm recording, so it will have happened when you're watching. My apologies. And it will be interesting to see what comes out of that. We will have a video dropping about that. I'm not sure whether it will be Saturday or Sunday, but keep your eyes peeled for that. And we'll have a discussion about it, about everything that is said. Now, obviously, if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. This has been the Derby Digest. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye, guys.